Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 9 of ILR2 on the Xbox platform for season 5 of the season. And we're here at the Japanese Grand Prix. And alongside me today, commentating with me is Burnout or Ben. How are you, Burnout? Are you alright?
I'm tired, but I'm very good, thank you, Dom. How are you?
I'm great, yeah, I'm great. That's a very enthusiastic Ben here today. Um, at the Japanese Grand Prix, one of the classics on the calendar, high speed, first sector, fast and flowing. One of the best tracks on the calendar, in my opinion. Ben, what we have in here, great circuit, good overtaking opportunities. What do you think about Japan?
Obviously it's one of the classic circuits of the season. Obviously we've had some amazing races over the course of its time on the Formula One calendar. I really love it. Sector One, probably one of the best sectors in the season. You obviously got the constant left rights, really easy to mess up. Um, but yeah, great. It's a really, really good circuit. Great for overtaking as well. And we should see a kind of okay-ish race here, despite the turnout.
And definitely, yeah, mentioning the turnout, we've only got 10 people here at the moment, so maybe we might get a few more join throughout qualifying, but not a high turnout. Last week we had 13, this week we're down to 10, but again, we expect this towards the end of the game cycle. People start losing their interest towards the game and actually racing on the game, so this is kind of, in my opinion, expected, but we obviously ideally want more than just 10 people racing around this amazing circuit, and fair, who would want to miss the chance to race at Japan, one of the best circuits in the world, and it's very old school as well. I mean, if you're making a mistake, you're going into either the gravel trap or onto the grass, and you'll be out of the race. So it's one of those old style circuits that we don't have many of them on the calendar anymore. But let's go through things like the drivers and the constructors championship. Now, obviously, they haven't been updated since our last visit. We obviously raced last week at Italy, and the actual Overkills actually won that race, and the Jackster, who was championship leader going into the race, didn't actually score again for the second race run-in, which means that Overkills now leads the championship by 17 points over the Jackster, if my calculations are correct. The Making Yum didn't qualify really well, but crashed out on the first lap, so he didn't score anything either. And obviously, he's now stopped racing in the league. So we're now probably down to three championship contenders now, between Jackster, Overkills, and Mulder. They're all within sort of decent points of each other. So those three are going for the championship, and Overkills is on a bit of a run recently. He had a poor result in Great Britain. He DNF'd out of Germany with a problem with his pit stop, but he scored, he came back really well in Italy, and he would want to do the same here. I mean, his main competition today will be the Jackster. He's currently out there in qualifying as well. He's actually in the pit lane, so he'll be probably fighting with the Jackster for trying to outscore each other. And also, I mean, Overkill's getting back up from BOR Hamilton. He's quite a new driver in terms of experience. He's not the most experienced, but his speed is coming quickly. So, potentially, BOR Hamilton's going to be in a chance for actually upsetting a few results towards the end of the season. But F1 Maestro is out there, last season's world champion, and looking like he won't be defending his title at all this season, but he'll be trying to give it his all in the Ferrari. He's currently out of the first sort of sector. He's finishing it off right now. Let's ride on board with him as we go through the double right-handers, the Degner 1, Degner 2, which are very tricky to get right, but he's navigated through there pretty nicely as we head up to this hairpin, where we've seen many overtakes being done by people like Kamui Kobayashi, who he actually did some signature moves there, but he's got a good acceleration out of there, and then through this long sweeping right-hander. Obviously flat out in these cars, and then now it's kind of spoon curve now, down in fifth gear, turns it in, and now down into fourth. A little bit wide off the apex, but he opens the steering to get a good exit, which he has done. And then we head towards sort of 130R. It's all about the power and just getting a good line here, which he will do. He isn't using ERS. You can see his bar is at 100%, so he isn't pushing the car at the moment. And this won't be a flat out lap. Now into the last chicane, it's very easy to lose a lot of that lap time here. So anything you build up is going to be important to get right here. And he gets a very good exit through there. As you expect, we're not using any ERS across the line, and it's our first bank of the session of 130.3. But those times will tumble because that ERS was not running at all on that lap. Chris Jones is out there as well. He's currently in the Mercedes. Had a good drive as now Overkill goes top on 27.153. But as I was saying, Chris Jones is very well in Italy, only 3/10 off getting on the podium, and he's had 2 4th places in the last 2 races, so he's been very consistent. Let's hope he can get back on the podium here in Japan. Across the lines at 27.170. That puts him into 2nd place, just behind Overkill. So a good bunker lap there by Chris in the Mercedes. IK is out there. He's going to be starting his lap in the Williams. The Jackster is on a lap. He's through the Degners. In the Sauber. He really needs a good result here, Ben, doesn't he? He's had a few poor races. Obviously, Germany wasn't his fault with the pit lane glitch, but obviously he DNF'd out of the Italian Grand Prix. How important is it for Jackster to get on terms again here in Japan?
Yeah, very important. Obviously, he's trying to win the championship. He's in that fight with top 5, I think it is now. I'm not too sure. Obviously, standings haven't updated, but yeah, he's in that group, and he hasn't had the results he needs to on top at the end of it. But yeah, with a low turnout, it's probably a good way for him to get some points today.
Exactly, yeah, and he's now backing off towards the line. So he was actually on a lap, but he's chosen to back way out of it, and he hasn't set a fast lap. So I think maybe he actually did cut on that lap. He did 29. No, he didn't actually. Did a 29.9, but again, he backed off right at the end there. So again, not showing and unleashing his full pace yet, but just getting a feel for the tracking and just trying to get his eye in at the moment. We've got IK rounding up his lap in the Williams. Let's see where he can go as Dazzler goes 5th now on his mediums. Different strategies being played out by the drivers out there. You've got 2 guys on the medium tyres, Dazzler and Brumson. But now IK slowly creeps to the line again, not pushing it. And that's player 1.0. Jossie's in the pit lane. Brumson is out there. Let's see what he can do on those mediums. Let's keep on board with the Mercedes driver as he heads towards the last chicane on the circuit. Down into 3rd gear, turns it in. And needs a good exit from this last part. And he's okay on the traction. To the line, let's see what it's going to be. Yeah, 1 minute 28.845. That puts him into P3 for now. So not too bad. Let's see where the times are in terms of comparisons. Brumson 1.6 off, so you expect that from the medium tyre. Sort of the gauge and the window between the 2 tyre compounds. 1.6 seconds as it stands. But everyone's sort of done their initial runs. Jackster isn't going faster. Maestro is kind of still out there, but he isn't pushing the car yet. He's 4/10 off his previous best. That 4/10 off his off the actual lap time. Let's keep on board with Maestro. Let's see if he goes to the line. He does complete it. Yeah, 30.7, so doesn't improve. But nonetheless, obviously, again, not really pushing it at the moment. And just doing lots of laps on that super soft tyre, really. Dazzler is up on his lap. Let's see what he can do. Goes P3, actually, 28.172. That's a pretty good lap on that medium. So he's beating Bronson's time on the medium tyre. So good lap by Dazzler. He might be in a shot at getting a podium today if he can continue that sort of pace. Then we've got at the back Ginger Ninja and B.O. Hamilton. B.O. Hamilton did very well last time out, got the podium in Italy. He had a few penalties that race, but he said after Italy he wanted to clear up his consistency a little bit and try and basically not cut so much. And that's the aim here. If he can avoid getting those penalties, he'll be right in the running. And once again, and McLaren looking very good for the Constructors' Championship now. Obviously, Toro Rosso, Bacon Yum no longer races for them, but we've got the Mulder, who hasn't turned up this week, so he won't be racing either, who is one of our championship contenders. So we are starting to sort of knuckle down to the business end of the season, and it seems to me that it is going to be a scrap, particularly between Overkill's and the Jackster. And if Overkill can stretch his advantage even more, then he's got a very good chance of seeing this championship going into the last 2 races of the season as we go to USA and Brazil. B.O. Hamilton is starting a lap now on the McLaren, so let's run on board with him, shall we? Let's hop on through these fast left and then right sections. So these S's, these famous Suzuki S's, which everyone loves and they feel amazing in an F1 car. He's keeping it all very calm and settled. He's not pushing it too hard, you can see. He's being very smooth with the steering. Let's see how his first sector compares. He's up to 31.649 in the first sector, now through the Degners. Degner 2 now. Gets a good exit and underneath the bridge, as he hits now high speed braking down into this hairpin, down into 2nd gear, turns it in. Good traction, need a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but he's okay. and then waiting as he go on the power, flat out through these, and now into the spoon curves. Next, coming up down into 5th gear, turns it in nicely, and now into the 4th gear for the second part. And then he's a good exit, being patient with the power, a little bit wide, but he's okay. Doesn't lose too much lap time. He's now just waiting patiently. We hit 170R. We've seen many good overtakes in the past, and classic ones. Alonso and Schumacher comes to mind. And now into the last chicane, down into 3rd gear, turns it in. He's a good exit for this last part, which he has got a good run. And here he comes to the line. Let's see what it's going to be from the McLaren driver. Across the line is a 27.0, and that is the fastest lap of the session. That puts him onto the provisional pole by sort of a 10th and a half, actually, over his teammate Overkills. But bear in mind, the track might have rubbered him, and it's probably a little bit more rubbered in than it was earlier. So good lap time by him. He's backing up his own teammate, and he's setting the standard as it stands up there. We've got Red Bull behind him. Josu is out there on a lap. Let's keep on board with Josu. Let's see, he's actually on an out lap, so he isn't really pushing at all at the moment. Overkills is out there. He is on a push lap, so let's keep with him as Pincher's joined. I don't think he's actually in the league, so I'm expecting him to be leaving soon, unless he's probably joined off somebody's profile. Just some input from Chris Michael Jones. He's DM'd me. He's predicting that pole should be a low 26 around here, so we've got to find another sort of 6/10 or so to get into those low 26s. So the track evolution with 7 seconds, 7 minutes to go. Expect to see those times start to tumble. As now Pinchera has now actually left the session, so it's okay. He's not actually racing. Overkills again, 2nd sector. People are joining this. I don't know why. Now heading to the last chicane. He's not really pushing this lap. You can see he's kind of backed out of it, I think, from what I can tell. But he can run it to the line anyway. Let's see what it's going to be. The 26.5, that was a good lap actually. It's half a second faster than he did earlier, so that's a good lap by him. Puts him into P1, provisional pole position with a half second advantage over his own teammates. So good lap time there, and pretty similar in terms of what times of the qualified session they actually did those lap times on. Bear Hamilton did it probably about a minute before, he's in a minute later, and he's gone fastest. So good lap there by Overkills on provisional pole at the moment. Chris is out there. Let's see what he can do. Looking like he's on a fast flying lap. The last chicane now. Let's see. Navigates through these very nicely. Very important to get a good exit here, otherwise he's losing loads of time. Across the line, it's going to be a 26.6. Good lap there by Chris. Only a 10th and a bit off what Overkills has done. That's pretty much where he's been all session, 10th and a half off Overkills. So he's keeping Overkills honest, and I'm sure we can maybe Chris with the last 5 minutes he can come into the pit lane, put another fresh set of tyres on, and absolutely go for it towards the end of the session and give it his absolute all. So we'll see what we can do. Jackster is out there as well. He's 10th down. He's actually on the medium tyre, so he's probably expecting to come in. He can't be qualifying on that medium tyre. Unless he wants to and does the alternate strategy. I mean, technically, Ben, you could choose to go on the alternate strategy with the numbers we've got, couldn't you?
Well, I've never had to experience these numbers, but you probably could, to be fair. Yeah, you probably could without losing too much time, in all honesty. But would you want to do that? I don't know. It depends on what the if the drivers are feeling lucky or not.
Exactly, yeah. And it also depends on the conditions. I mean, it has got darker here in qualifying, but I don't expect to see any rain. I think it's going to be too late for it to come. So, Chris Box is in. Everyone's sort of in the pit lane now. IK is out there on an outlap in the Williams. So, he'll probably be our first kind of... He's going to be on the soft. So, he's going for the alternate strategy, actually. He's starting on soft tyre and then probably going on the medium towards the end of the race, which probably will be the strategy if you'd really want to. He's going for probably the one stop here. But you expect to be able to do one stop on the super soft as well, really. So I don't see how this is advantageous. Maybe he'll be able to push harder on those softs earlier because the super softs will wear out quicker in the earlier stints, potentially. So he might be able to go a little bit longer on them and have fresher mediums towards the end of the race. That probably might work out for him. But obviously the delta between the super soft and the soft it's still quite a big delta. So I'm surprised that he's doing this, unless he boxes it in now and puts on a fresh set of super softs and goes for a flying lap. But I don't think he's going to have a lot of lap time and a lot of time to do that. So he'll be our first reference point and see where he can go. He's currently running in 8th place. Hasn't really done a representative lap time as of yet. He's in a 31.0. So he'll be looking to try and get up the order days. Aim will be to try and get amongst top 5, really. So let's go on board with the Williams driver. And Ben, would you like to take us through a lap?
Which driver? Because I've lost myself.
IK91.
Okay, right, so we turn 1 then, getting down the gears pretty nicely, keeping it nice and tight through turn 2. Now through the SSM, keeping it in 5th gear, going a little bit wide, missing the apex a bit. You don't really want to touch them, you just want to hug them just a little bit, not too much. And he gets that pretty nicely. Getting a good exit, flat out, surely, and he finishes the first sector. Coming through the double right-hander. Very, very quick set of corners. Got to try not to get too much oversteer on exit. Coming through the left-hander, very hard hairpin. Got to get a good exit, which he does indeed. Now you get the long swooping right. It's just waiting to see Spoon as he's got to pick his braking board. He picks it nicely, gets the apex, and gets a very good exit indeed. Very nice corner indeed as he comes to finish the second sector. As you got a little straight now. As coming to 130R. Flat out. And as he comes into the final chicane, gets nicely on the brakes, hits the apex. Gets a good exit. Now you got to watch out for the bump on the right hand side, and he manages to avoid it. And that will be, I'm not sure if I was improved or not. I don't think so.
Improvement 28.559 for him, so he was a 31.0, so he did improve by a good 2.5 seconds there. So puts him into P6 on that soft tyre. He might go again, but everyone now is cool coming up to the pit lane now. Everyone's on outlaps. B.R. Hamilton, Chris Jones, and Overkill's top 3 are all on outlaps, so we expect to see time start to tumble. Aaron Dazzler is out there on lap 2, and the Jackster is on lap 2, so we'll see some very good lap times. But interestingly, the Jackster is on that soft tyre instead of the super soft, so he's probably looking at trying to get in front of Dazzler, and if he can start P4 on the soft, he'll have a good opportunity to do very well in the actual race as well. Be on a different strategy. Dazzler out there in 4th place. He's backed out, so he isn't actually pushing on a lap. Maestro's out there on the soft as well. So a lot of people are opting for that soft tyre, the middle compound to start on, instead of that super soft, which is very interesting indeed. So we'll see how that all plans out in the race. It might make things a little bit more interesting for us. But Overkills is winding up to do a lap. So is Chris and so is Hamilton. So let's go on board with Overkills. Can he keep on top? He's on a 26.537 at the moment. Obviously his track is in better shape than it was earlier on when we did that lap time. So let's keep on board with him as he goes through the Suzuka S's as we stand. So through these fast left and then right sections, got to be very patient with the throttle, don't want to be cooking it too early. Yellow flags in sector 3, so someone's been a bit of an error earlier, but it's all cleared as of now. Good exit through there, no oversteer at all, as we head to Degna's now. Yellow's in sector 2 and sector 3, as Jossie's now retired from the session, so he's actually he's crashed out of Degna 2, so he's out of it. He isn't improving at all. Overkills now hits the breaker zone in the hairpin, down into first gear, turns it in, gets a little bit of oversteer on exit, but he's got still a pretty good exit anyway. And now he's through this long straight. Patience, obviously, we now approach Spoon Curve, down into 5th gear, 6th gear actually rather, and then down into 4th for the second part. He needs a good exit here, which he has got a very good run indeed. He launches himself out of that corner down this long straight as we approach 130R. Flat out through there, and then we're hitting the final chicane now down into 4th gear, turns it in nicely, 3rd actually, down in 2nd now, gets a good exit. Let's see, does it go faster from the McLaren driver? Here he comes to the line, is a 26.353, that is provisional pole position. Chris only does a 26.652, he actually doesn't improve at all. B.R. Hamilton, can he improve and get in front of Chris? Can it be a McLaren 1-2 on the grid? Here he comes, runs it to the line. What's it going to be from the McLaren driver? It's a 26.7, and it isn't faster than Chris Jones. So it means that that's our top three. I'm pretty sure bet that that'll be our top three. But Aaron Dazzler is on a faster lap time here as Jackson goes fourth on the soft. So he's going to start fourth on that tyre. Dazzler through the last chicane now. Can he get in front of Jackson? Here he comes to the line. It's a 27.4 and it's not faster than the Jackster. So Jackster keeps in fourth place. Brumson across the line, doesn't go faster. And that is our qualifying session done and dusted. And Ben, would you like to take us through the grid order?
Not going to take me long this week, which is unusual. There we are, the Overkill's taking pole here in Japan in the McLaren, with Chris Macca-Jones and Mercedes just behind him. BOR Hamilton in third, the Jackster 21 in fourth, Aaron Dazzler in fifth, F1 Maestro 26 in sixth, LCR Blumson in seventh, GSY Ninja in eighth, LK91 in ninth, and Josu in 10th. I said that as slow as I could.
You did, yes. There you go. That's our grid order for the Japanese Grand Prix. Looking good for Overkill's to extend his advantage in the championship. But what's interesting to see is different strategies being played up by a lot of the drivers in the field, particularly down from fourth and lower. Obviously, Jackster on the soft, starting fourth, he's in prime position. As I can see, a floating McLaren in the right hand side. He's actually. Oh, he was floating. He's back down into the normal position again. He was actually floating in the air, which is very interesting to see. Didn't catch that on the stream. Who've everybody watching on the stream, yeah, you can go watch that later on. Apparently, how that hasn't been fixed. Everyone's running up now, sorting out their fuel loads for the race and all those bits and pieces before we head up, and we'll probably start the formation lap. But I do think it's going to be very interesting in terms of strategy. I think obviously on those soft tyres, people who are starting on soft, they're definitely going for that one stop. And I do believe it would be very tricky to do the one stop on the super soft, but I'm sure it's possible. And you never know with safety cars and all, it could spice things up big time, as we had last week in Italy. So here we go. It's a formation lap. We go and go and go. Don't know why I did that, but there we go. So everybody's out doing their formation laps. So as Overkills now just takes him through this out lap for the formation lap, and then we'll be able to line up on the grid. But Ben, what are your predictions for this race? Who are you going to go for?
I don't really know. Overkill's looking on pace, so yeah, I'll have to give it to him. I sounded like what's his face, commentator, whatever, Anthony, whatever his name is. Yeah, Overkill's great qualifying. I think he can get the job done, especially with the lack of drivers tonight. Chris Macca-Jones could be in it. Really good qualifying from him, but yeah.
Yeah, should be interesting. I think the run to turn one as well is going to be very important, but there's plenty of opportunities for overtaking here, and people will be absolutely going just guns blazing, I think, in this race. But I think the super soft runners need to watch out for people behind him. Remember, those tyres will start going off a lot earlier than those soft tyres, and the soft tyres will be able to go longer. They might be a little bit slower initially, but it means that they're going to be faster when the super soft runners start struggling their tyres. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this all plays out in the end. But here we go. We're heading into the last chicane, and we're going to get the grid all lined up for the start of this race. This is round 9 of the season. We've got 2 more races after this one to go. So championship, this is the business end of the championship. And Overkills is in prime position to get another win on the table today and extend his championship lead further. But remember, the Jackster is in 4th, as I mentioned, and he's on a different strategy, so things could really turn their heads here. And the Jackster really needs an important result here. It's important and imperative that he gets a good result today and finishes it with some good points. So here we go. They're all lined up for the start of this brilliant race. Japan offers great racing always, even in real life. So here we go. Everyone is all lined up now. We're revving for 5 red lights for round 9 of this season. The lights out and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. Great start by Overkills, but Chris also gets a good start. But the BR Hamilton's looking a little bit more fighty actually into turn 1. He goes round the outside of Chris, and he does go round the outside, but Chris is on the inside for turn 2. And he's actually looks like BR Hamilton's got the move done already. Great move by BR Hamilton. He slots into second place ahead of Chris Jones, but Chris didn't quite have the great start that he wanted. He looked like he bobbed down a little bit of a tad of a bob down, but he's okay. He's in 3rd place. Jaxter's in 4th, not far behind. F1 is now in 5th. He's made some gains on the first lap, and LCM Brumpson's actually in 6th, mind me. Dazzler's in 7th. Kinja is in 8th, so look at that. The 2 Haas boys are 7th and 8th, getting good points. IK is in 9th, or LK is in 9th, and Josh is in 10th, running at the bottom order. So Overkills leads away at the moment ahead of his own teammate Bill Hamilton. Very similar to what happened in Monza between these two. So it looks like Overkills is going to try and bring that gap out as quick as he can, because he needs to get within over a second to break that DRS window, bear in mind. And the DRS will become active on lap 3. So hopefully he can break that DRS, which is what he's failed to do in Monza. But Chris is sticking with BR Hamilton here. Chris, great move by BR Hamilton on the first lap. Very risky on the first lap to go for any sort of move there. But he really went around the outside on the better line. Got a better exit of turn 2 and got that move done. Chris, though, is looking to try and attack back on him. And he'll be looking for the counter attack. But Overkills, it is still only 4 tenths between the top 2. So it's very tight between those top 2. As we now head through turn 1 once again to start our second lap of this race. And it's very tight between those top 3, but they will try and sprint away. It's really important they start sprinting away from actually Jaxter in behind them. Jaxter's only a second behind that group, so he could, on the alternate strategy, be right in the hunt here. And it's going to be an easy one stop for him. He's not going to have to worry about tyres. He can just push on those soft tyres and pit in from those mediums and go to the end. So he's got no worries at the moment. But the top 3 are going to have to push on, and actually already the Jaxter is closing up on that group. He's only 7 tenths behind it. So what was a second behind is now only 7 tenths and closing quickly. He's now 6 tenths. We head through into the hairpin. Chris goes really deep into the hairpin, knocks up that front left, I think it was. But he's okay, as now Overkills is extending the gap to 1 second now. So he's got out of that DRS window already. But the Jaxter is looking to pressurise Chris already. He's looking for any sort of move. But at the moment, no DRS at the moment. It's probably not likely at this stage. But the next lap, he'll be looking to attack as quick as he can. But we're now heading down this back straight now, and the Jaxter will be full of the slipstream now on Chris. F1 Maestro is not far behind either, so he'll be looking for a good opportunity as well. But now we head into the last chicane now, and he's a good exit here. And BR Hamilton looks like he's struggling a little bit earlier on because Overkills has really got away from him. The gap's over a second. Look at that. Look how close the Jaxter is. He's reeling in the top 2, the second and third now. So he's got DRS enabled this lap. So he's in the danger man. He's the one to watch now. BR Hamilton not so good out of the first 2 corners. So Chris looking a little bit more confident at this stage of the race. But the tyres are wearing down quickly. They're degrading fast. And the soft tyres are coming into their own at this stage of the race. That's how early things are changing at this point. Bear in mind behind, we've got Maestro leading the pack of LCR Bromston in 6th place. Ninja is a bit slightly further back as now Chris gets a 3-second time penalty. That's going to impact things big time. But there is a battle going on between these 3. Let's keep on board with second and third. The Jaxter will look on for a move into the inside of the hairpin. No, he does not. He just thinks better of that. But he just needs a good exit now. He's trying to close up. He's very close to Chris now. So let's go on board with the Sauber driver. He's heading to Spoon Curve now, and he's a good exit through here. Bear in mind, Chris will have DRS on BR Hamilton, but BR Hamilton will not have DRS on Overkills. The gap is 1.1 seconds to the leader. So the Jaxter now in the slipstream. Won't have any DRS at this point. Obviously, bear in mind it's soon, but he's closing up so much in that slipstream. We go through 130R. Very good indeed. He's closing, but he's too far back surely to make a move. No, he does not, but he'll be lining himself up for a good exit as Chris parks it massively out of the last chicane now. So Jaxter now hits the DRS in the slipstream, using the ERS, trying to get the move done. He's closing and closing and closing and closing. Has he got enough momentum in that Sauber? No, he does not. He'll have to hold on for a bit longer. He hasn't got close enough to Chris to make a move in turn 1 at all. So as it stands, and in the background, it's Brumson and Maestro going up will to will. We've just caught that on the stream. So we weren't concentrating on that, but Brumson now has got ahead of F1 Maestro at this point. So Maestro not looking that comfortable on those soft tyres at all. As now Brumson's going to try and pursue after the top 4 as well. So he's going to try and get closer. But look at that, look at the Jackster. He's tried to look at the inside going into Degner 1, but it was too far back, too risky to go for any sort of move there. But again, it's hindered his exit now. He's not close enough to Chris to make a move, but Chris has lost time to BOI Hamilton. It's now 1.4 seconds the gap. So these two squabbling away is costing the time to second place man BOI Hamilton, who's sticking back from overkills. Look at that, Jackster is closing it once again. He's so close, but not close enough. As we go through Spoon, and Chris is very wide here. He's looking a little bit vulnerable. He's looking a bit worse for wear on those super soft tyres. So here he goes. Jackster is in the toe. He's slipstreaming him. He's closing up so quickly. He won't be able to make it down into 130R, but he'll be trying to patiently wait. But he's had to sort of lift out of it because he was closing up so quickly. So he hasn't been able to get it done there. So he needs a good exit through the chicane, which he has. I think he's got that exit he needs. So here he comes. Hits DRS. He approaches it. Got the DRS. He's in the slipstream, but he's looking like he's too far back once again. Or is he too far back? He's closing and closing and closing and closing. Goes to the inside. Does he go on the inside? He goes for it on the inside. But he's, again, too far back. Chris has gone very wide now. Jackson will get a better exit. It's wheel to wheel. They contact. It's contact between the two of them. But Jackson takes the actual position away from Chris, but he's gone very wide now. Chris will try and get the counter attack on him, but the Jackster has taken place of third place. And I don't know about you, Ben, was that actually a fair move by the Jackster? As Ben is not here, seemingly. From what I saw there, it didn't seem like Chris actually got that. I think it felt like there was a bit of contact between the two of them. It might just be a little bit of a side pod glitch or something like that, but he's gone very deep there. Brumson's on the inside. It does look like Chris's tyres have expired, and he's losing lots of lap time now. He's got passed by his own teammate Brumson now, and Maestro is looking for the attack as well on Chris McIntyre. He goes on the inside of Spoon now. He's on the inside on the better line, and it looks like he's got that move done, and Chris is very wide indeed. Chris is struggling. He might have to pit in very shortly on those soft super tyres because he's not looking very good. He's looking worse for wear, and he's not getting the best traction at all. So let's cut our eyes back to the top 2 now. It is actually Overkills who leads BOI Hamilton by 1.2 seconds at this stage of the race. Their tyres look to be in good shape at the moment. Jackson's the 3.4 seconds back on them. So it is the interval to the... Actually, it's the leader. It's the interval between gaps, of course. So looking like it's looking quite good for Overkills. The gap is maintaining between 1 second and 1.3. But it is a McLaren battle for the 1-2 at the moment. But you have to say, it's looking very good for the Jackson at this point in the race. He's only 3.4 seconds back from second place, and obviously 4.5 back off the lead. And he has, if he has to make one less stop, which I don't think he has to. I think what will happen is the super soft runners will pit earlier for mediums, but Jackson will have fresher mediums for the end of the race, which will make him very much a threat towards the end. So at the moment, your net race leader is Overkills as things stand. Don't expect to see 2 stops done by the McLaren boys at all. It should be a simple 1 stop onto the medium, but they'll have to pit earlier because their tyres, their super softs will be wearing out a lot faster than that soft tyre indeed. So it'll be about trying to get good out laps or good in laps and then getting a good out lap and getting the undercut done, which they should be able to get the undercut done on the mediums when they do eventually pit. So it is 21 laps to go now. We're heading to the final chicane. And the gap is only 8 tenths now, so that gap is closed down between the 2 McLaren boys. It is a battle between these 2 boys, and the Jackster is closing up on them a little bit. So not pitting yet, they're still staying out for another lap, but the gap is pretty close. And let's go back to Brumson and F1 Maestro, gap only half a second. Dazzler and Chris actually now has pitted, so let's see what tyres he goes on to. Mediums, yep. Going to the end, 20, actually no, is that softs? Oh, that's mediums. Definitely mediums. It looked like the colour of the tyres glitched out there. But he is on the medium tyre. We're trying to go to the end for 20 laps on that tyre. It's going to be a very long stint, but hopefully he can make that one stick. But again, look how tight it is between the two McLaren boys. Only 6 tenths at the moment. Pretty Degners once again. Looking like Bear Hamilton's conserved his tyres a bit more, and he hasn't got any penalties yet. The only man who has got penalties from what we've seen, I think, is Chris. So, Bear Hamilton at the moment hasn't had any warnings, had any cuts. No one else actually has. So it looks like it's going to be a race between these two boys flat out to the end. At the moment, it's very tight. He's in the toe at the moment. He'll be getting he'll be closing up big time, which he is closing up. You can see how fast he's closing up in that toe. So he's putting a lot of pressure on his own teammate here. And I don't know, Overkills might want to pit in this lap, because look how close BR Hamilton closes up in the braking zone. So there's Overkills pitted, he does not continue for another lap, and Hamilton faked it into the pit lane. He was going for it, but he turned way out of that, and it's cost him a little bit of lap time actually out of that last corner. So it means that Jackson is closing 1.8 seconds now, the gap to the top two. So he is closing up pretty quickly on those soft tyres. So really, the McLaren boys have to react probably this lap and the next lap. So one of them will pit this lap, and the other will pit the following lap. Because at the moment, if they don't do that, the Jackster isn't far behind and will be able to pounce. So really, it has to be this and the next lap, because otherwise they're going to get overtaken on track by the Jackster, and that's not, they don't want that. They don't want to lose track position to the Sauber driver at all. We're through the fast Degners now. So we're closing up into the hairpin now, and it's all very tense because look how quick the Jackster has closed that now, 1.7. So they're under a lot of pressure now. But look how close it is. Will there be team orders? I'm wondering if maybe, I mean, I think if Overkill's pits, there's no point. But look, he is holding him up here. I do think at the moment, B.R. Hamilton looks to be the faster McLaren driver at this point. But look how close it is. He is close. He's really close to him. So here we go. Slipstream and everything he's got. He goes to the right-hand side, but surely not. He's so close. Overkill's on the curve. He oversteers on the curve, but he's okay. But he's really outbroken himself here. B.R. Hamilton's going to try and cut back around the outside. Does he go around the outside? And they make contact. It's Hamilton in the pit lane. Overkill's continued out for one more lap, but he's vulnerable to the Jackster here. He is vulnerable. Hamilton retires. He's actually made contact in the pit lane. The Jackster goes around the outside of his own rival. His yellow flag safety car has been deployed. But what happened there? We didn't see that. I do think B.R. Hamilton might have crashed out in the pits or something like that. He's retired out of it, and it was very close. B.R. Hamilton went around the outside of that last chicane. He really went for it, and you look at that and you think to yourself, that is a very interesting situation between the two McLaren boys. That arguably was too aggressive, and they didn't need to do that. And ultimately, they cost each other a lot of lap time. But this safety car has now neutralised things a little bit, and it does mean, I do suspect they're all going to come flying into the pit lane, which does work out in the favour of Overkills, because he was going to pit this lap anyway, so it's not changed anything for him. But it has changed the Jackster strategy a little bit, but even then, if he does pit, and he pits on some mediums, going to the end anyway. So here we go. They're all on the safety car now, and I do suspect they're all going to probably think about peeling off to the pit lane and put on a set of medium tyres. But it does affect people who have already started on that medium tyre. People like Aaron Dazzler and Josu. That's going to cost them big time. But anything, if there's any gain in this, Chris Jones is going to be in prime position here. But he's already pitted. He's running very slowly here. I wonder what's wrong with Chris Jones. He's really slow out there. He's not pushing it at all. Unless he's already pitted, but he's pitted earlier. So let's see what happens. Does Overkills peel off into the pit lane? He does. He boxes it in. They're all surely going to have to take the opportunity now. And this, again, as I said, I'm repeating it again, it plays into the hands of Overkills now. He's going to pit in for those medium tyres. And he's going to do it anyway. Let's see, does he get in front? He goes for it. Yes, he's probably gone already. Yeah, he's gone. So he's got it in front. And he heads up and he now leaves them away on the medium tyres. But now it's going to be a battle between Overkills and the Jexter, the two championship rivals as it stands. These two are going absolutely all for it in the championship. They currently are 1 and 2 in the championship as it stands. So the Jexter will be determined to get past Overkills after losing out so much in Italy. And obviously that glitch in Germany, he'd want to rectify those sort of things. But I don't know what happened between BLR Hamilton and Overkills. They both were wheel to wheel. It was BLR Hamilton around the outside of the second part of the chicane. And Overkills was wanting to come into the pit lane. It looked like, obviously, Overkills at the point was race leader. But wanted to come into the pit lane. BLR Hamilton was there, but it meant that Overkills had to get out of it. He was turning in to come to the pit lane, but turned out of it. BLR Hamilton instead went into the pit lane because he knew it was all closing up big time. So he went into the pit lane, and I think something happened in that pit lane, which is unfortunately knocked him out of the race, and which means that McLaren won't gain massively in the Constructors' Championship at all. I wonder if Ben's here. Ben, are you alive?
I am.
He's here. Ben is here. So under safety car now, and everyone's just weaving away and doing their thing. But interesting events here in Japan. Even though we've had actually safety car is in this lap, that was a really quick turnaround. It was only 2 laps out there. So the Overkills will now set the pace. 17 more laps to go. It should be an easy stint to the end here. So Overkills will get this race going any moment now. Through the last chicane we come. And I think he's gone through already. So here we go. Green flag. We're racing once again here in Japan. A good restart by Overkills, but Jexter does follow with him. He's only 4 tenths back on him. So here we go. We start lap 11 of 27 here in Japan. Go through the fast right-handers now in turn 1 and turn 2. And it's been a pretty good restart by Overkills, but he's looking vulnerable already to the Jexter. It's close. It's only 2.5 tenths. Look at that. Look how close it is between top 2. So Overkills was trying to get in that wind and trying to get into that rhythm once again. He had a good gap earlier on, but obviously that all diminished when those super softs started wearing out. He'll be trying to get away quickly, and he has got away. The gap is up to 6 tenths already, so very good stuff by Overkills to get his rhythm in early as quick as he can. And to get used to these medium tyres. He's flying away through Degner 1, Degner 2. Chris McDonald gets another penalty. So that's 6 seconds worth of penalties for Chris today. So that's not what he wants to do. But as it stands, it looks like he's now Brunson's down in 3rd place. So he's now going to be on for a podium here in the Mercedes. So good stuff by him. But let's go in terms of, I mean, it is cost Chris a bit of time in terms of he's on the full lap old mediums. But everybody else, Adam does it on soft, so he's actually going to have a very quick race car. But those soft tyres are going to be absolutely diminishing by the end of the race because he'll be really quick, but he's going to be really slow by the end. So let's go with Aaron Dazzler, who's going to have a super quick Haas at this stage of the race. So he's going to be one to watch here. And he'll be trying to navigate through Brunson, Jexter, and Overkills. Overkills, it's all closed up between Overkills and Jexter once again. The DRS, I don't think, will be active, but let's go and ball with it because it is close. In the slipstream, Jexter is. He's closing and closing, but he's not close enough, surely, to make a move into the first corner. He isn't. No, he's not. Oh, he's gone very deep into the first corner, so in the second corner. So he's actually compromised his line a little bit, but he's so close now. He's really close to the McLaren here. And it's going to be big time pressure for Overkills when the DRS becomes active. But Jexter saving his ERS, you can see 89%, not really using much of it. And Overkills is sort of down to 60-70%. So you can see at the moment, the Overkills to defend, he's actually using a little bit more ERS deployment to try and keep in front. But he'll have to use a lot of that to keep in front when the DRS becomes available. Heading into this hairpin once again, in a good exit through here, and he is trying to spread the gap open a little bit. The gap is 6 tenths between the top 2. Aaron Dazzler once again, he's 6 tenths back from Brunson, looking like Brunson actually has the pace over the Haas driver, and as he sticks with the top 2, he could be an outside threat. The top 2 make contact, so you never know. It might all come good for LCR Brunson. He actually won a few races last season. But Chris is in the slipstream of Maestro here, so this might be one to watch as well. We're going to go back to the top 2, which is our main fight. 2 championship contenders. battling it away here in Japan. Ginger gets 5 seconds off from go penalty for actually corner cutting, so it's not good for him. But DRS now is not activated actually on this lap, so nothing activated at all. So again, gap did close down, but no DRS. So this should be the lap where we have DRS, as overkills is the fastest of the race, 30.732. DRS enabled is now enabled this lap, so we should see some fantastic overtakes soon. Championship wise, it's gonna, as it stands, overkills will spread to the championship lead, open 24 points, and things stay the same going into the last 2 races, but you never know. Jackster could be able to get past him if he's got enough pace, but the gap is now open to 0.8 of a second now, so the gap is opening up a little bit. But LCR Brumson's looking very, he's looking good actually on pace. He's only 6 cents behind the Jackster here. So, if anything, the Jackster's a little bit more under pressure from Brumson than the overkills is the Jackster. Brumson's looking very much in the rhythm here, and he might have an odd shot at this. As now, okay, gets a penalty for corner cutting. We should see a few of these in the race. This track is very harsh on track limits. Again, through 130R, the gap has closed up to the top 2 once again, so the Jackster will have DRS now this time, this lap around. 14 laps to go, we're halfway through this race now. Prix gets a 5 seconds from go penalty for exceeding track limits, but not a great exit by the Jackster out of that last corner, so if anything, it has not been a good exit at all. And he's not close up and left in the DRS, so you know what? If things can be managed, if Overkills can concentrate on getting a good exit for that last chicane, he's in great form to win this race. He's in a great position because he can get a good exit, and the DRS, no matter what the Jackster can do in the DRS, it won't matter because the Jackster can't close up enough anyway. Yep, now 6/10 for through the fast S's. At the moment, it's not very not much action, not many overtakes at the moment. But again, Overkills looks better through the Degners. He's looking a lot more confident on those mediums. But then it's all in the sort of the second sector, I'd say. And then obviously in the slipstream, as we head through 130R, where the Jackster starts closing up on Overkills. But then out of the braking zone, out of this last chicane, is all Overkills once again. So Overkills doesn't look like he has that little bit extra pace to the Jackster. Through spoon curve we go. Again, look at the gap, it's 5/10, so it is closing up. It's now 6/10 out of the exit. So Jackster will be closing up in the slipstream, using that ARS, so using deployment, and now it turns out that they're pretty equal on deployment, as the Jackster is starting to attack. Now, really does get close up into that braking zone, but who gets the better exit? Is it the Jackster this time around? It isn't going to be the Jackster at all. Actually, you know what? He has got a good exit here. So he's in the slipstream and the DRS. Brumson fast up the race, 30.5. He's closing it. He's closing into turn 1. No, he's too far back to make any sort of move. Oh, he's gone too deep. He's gone too deep. It's going to be Jackster on the right hand side. He pushes it onto the circuit, and he's got the move done on Overkills. And it is the Jackster who takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. What a great move, but arguably very aggressive indeed. And I'm wondering if that was too far. Was that too far by the Sauber driver? I'm wondering, but if that is, Overkills will have the red mist. He won't be happy with that at all. As look at that, Jackster is very slow through deck number 1. He's making a few mistakes through there, and the Overkills will not be having any of that. Head into the hairpin, not close enough is Overkills. Look how close it all is once again, but who gets the better exit? You know what? The better exit this time round is Overkills. He's really close to that Sauber, but he won't be able to make a move through Spoonies. This is not worth the risk. We're still at a roll up between Vettel and Verstappen. We head through the second part of Spoon Curve now, so needs a good exit through here. There's Overkills, and you know what? He's not got a great exit. He's been sucked into that slipstream, that toe, but he's in the slipstream. He's closing up a lot and a lot. Has he got enough pace? He's got enough speed to get past him. He's not close enough at all, I don't think, but it'll be all about trying to get the better exit through the last chicane. These two are going to war now, out of the last chicane now, and it's not a good exit, but he'll have the DRS. He'll be deploying it, and all the ERS he's got. He's closing up now. He's really closing up. Here we go into turn 1. Who's going to make it stick? No, he's too far back. Overkills can't make that move at all. He's just too far back. But now he's trying to get a good exit through these S's now. He's not offline now like he was a lap ago. to be able to concentrate on just keeping the Jackster under pressure. Again, need a good exit through here. He's got an alright run, but he's got that toe. Now he needs to concentrate on getting a good exit through Degners. So he's through Degner 1 now, and Degner 2 needs a good exit. Closes up in the braking zone. Needs a good exit, which he has got an alright exit. He's in that toe. He's closing up now into the hairpin. Bromson's looking very good on pace, and Dazzler's close up to this battle too. But Overkill's just to get a better exit out of the hairpin here. And that he needs to use that advantage, getting the better exit through that hairpin. He needs to go, you know what, I'm in that slipstream, I'm in that toe. And now I need to utilise it. He's gone very deep for out of Spoon there. Think about a Spoon, that's not a good exit. It's not what he needs to do. He needs to be a lot closer to Jackster out of Spoon. It looks like that move that the Jackster made earlier might have rattled on Overkills a little bit, put him on a little bit of, he's put him kind of on the fence here and kind of ruined that momentum that he was on. Overkills needs a good exit through this last chicane. Has he got the exit he needs? It's half a second in the gap. It's closed up again. He's got a better run out of it. He's close now. You know what? It's a good run. He's really close. He's closing and closing and closing, but he's too far back, surely. Yeah, he's too far back. Doesn't make the move at all. But he just needs to concentrate and get the best exits, and he knows where he's stronger. He's stronger arguably for Degner 1. He's stronger arguably for Degner 2 and that hairpin. He needs to use that to his advantage and then get a good run through Spoon and just try and do it. But he's really close through these S's now. He's really there with the Jackster. He's got a good exit as well. For now, through the Degners we go once again. Degner 1 and now Degner 2. He needs a good exit for Degner 2. If he can get a good run, he's got a good run here. Surely he's got a good run. He's got an alright run. He's still within 4 tenths. Look at this. It's going to be a full-way battle for the win, I think, and eventually, as Ivan Dazzler's right there with Bromson. Good exit needed through here. He's got an alright exit. He's right there, 3 tenths. Look at that. He's really closed up now. He's really all over the back of him. Does he make it into Spoon? No, he does not. He backs off for now, but needs to concentrate on the second part of Spoon. This is where he made his mistake 1 lap ago, and it looks like he's got the better run here. So here comes Overkills in the slipstream. No DRS, remember. So he'll have it all in the slipstream, and using the ERS, he's conserved a little bit of it. So you know what? He's looking very good indeed. He's closing and closing through 130R, but he's not close enough. Surely he's really close. He's only under 2 tenths of a second, but look at that. Bromson as well is close. So he needs a good exit here, does Overkills. He gets a good exit. He's a good run. He's got a alright run indeed. He's going to close up big time in the DRS. He's closing now. It's his best opportunity to make a move on the Sauber driver. He's really close. The Sauber goes to the right hand side defence early, and it's Oker's on the outside, but he can't make the move stick. Great defence by the Jackster, and he stays once again in first place. Great defending. It's a thrilling battle between the two of them, and if the Jackster can place the car where he is at the moment, he will maintain that first place. But look how slow off the SSE is. A lot more confidence from the McLaren driver. As someone's DNF'd out of this race, it looks like it might be Ginger Ninja or F1 Maestro. Let's see who it is. It is Maestro in the Gorilla trap. And that is really unfortunate. He'll be down into 9th place, and that is very disappointing indeed for him. But going back to our top 2, it's really close indeed. Through the hairpin we go, and he's a good exit. He's been better through here previously, but this time around not as good as he's been earlier on in his Overkills. He's concentrating getting good exits through the Spoon curves now. Through the first part, now the second part. He's a good exit here. If he can round it up, he's saved that ERS a little bit now, 84%. He can use a little bit now down this straight, and he'll be closing up a lot here. Closing up all the time through 130 we go. And now into the last chicane. It's a thrilling battle, tantalising. This hasn't got the overtakes this race, but it's, you know what it's got? It's got the tension, and it's got the pressure that goes with it. And here he comes out of the last corner we come. Overkills in the slipstream once again, and the DRS. He's closing up again, but is it enough into turn 1? He's going to try and go for it on someone. Is he going to go for it? No, he's not. He's just too far back, but Jackster goes deeper through turn 2, but Overkills will get the cut back on it and get the better exit. And now through the S's once again. It's going to be tit for tat. It's going to be pretty much the same every lap, and it's going to be about who gets the better exit. And it is out of that last corner. That's where it was all done. And the gap's kind of opened up now, sort of half a second now. Three Dignus once again. He's a good exit, and it's 3 tenths, so he's right there. But look at that, top 4 are fighting here. They're really going for it. And look how close Overkills is now. He's really on that rear end of the Sauber driver. He's close now. He's closer than he's ever been at this point, but he's probably too far back. He's now got to be patient, make the waiting game, save that ERS a little bit now, concentrate on getting the better exit for this second part of Spoon, which he needs to do, and he's got an alright exit here. He's within 3 tenths, so look at this. He's got a good chance going into the last chicane, but I think he's going to be saving it now. Through 130L once again, he's closing up. He's too far back, surely. Does he go for it? No, he does not. These cars are so wide, it's not worth it. He's a good exit now through the last chicane. He's got a good run. You know what? This might be the run he needs. He's got an alright run now in the DRS once again, but it's only 3.5 tenths. It's not as close as it was last lap around, and it's not good. It's not a good opportunity. Track position for the Jackster is working out to be his saving grace here. Gap now, 2 tenths through the S's now, through the first sector. Again, it's going to be trying to put that pressure on, and maybe it's going to take a bold overtake from Overkills to get the move done. Maybe it's going to take that. Gap now, opening at the 4 tenths. Now through Degner 1 now, and now Degner 2. He needs to get a good exit now, and you know what? It might be worth looking at the chicane. It's very wide out of Degner 2, so not a great exit this time round, but he has got the toe, remember? It might be worth concentrating on getting a good exit for Degner 2 and hook himself up for the inside of the hairpin. He's wider this time, not a great exit. He's more vulnerable to Bromson than he is to the Jackster. And maybe this will help him out. Maybe it will help him out in the slipstream to get a better exit through the last chicane. So now he needs to time this more briefly, get a good exit through the second part of Spoon, which he hasn't really got. To be honest, it's 5 tenths. It'll have the toe. 7 more laps to go. At the end of this lap, will be 6 laps to go. As he is closed up now into 130. Yeah, now into the last chicane now, under braking. Needs a good exit now. It's important to get a great exit. Has he got the exit he needs off this corner? And you know what? He hasn't. It's 5 tenths. It's not enough. He's going to be closing up, but it's not enough to make a move. No, he has to stay behind for now on the Jackster. So the Jackster's made a bit of a mistake for turn 2. A bit wider. But again, close again between the top 2 through the first of the S's here. But Bromson's there. You know, if these two make a mistake, it's Bromson who's going to have the rewards. So you need to be careful here. Now through Degner 1 once again. Now Degner 2. Does he try and attack? He's really quick through Degner 2. He's really broke very late indeed. He's got a good run, you know. You know what? This might be an opportunity. Does he go for it? No, he does not. He's too far back. Ninja fast off the race. 29.593. Now he's close once again. He's really there with him. But he's probably too far back. Maestro gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Now through the Spoon section once again. He's concentrating on getting a good exit. You know what? This is not a bad exit now. This time round, he's close here. So let's go on board with him. Through 130. Yeah, look at how close he's getting. He's going to go for it. Is he going to go for it? No, he's not. But the Jackster knows he's there now, and Overkills will try absolutely everything now. Out of the last corner, he's got a good exit, got a good run. Surely this is the opportunity to get it done. He's in the slipstream, DRS, and using the ERS now. Has he got enough? He's going to try and go around the outside. Is he going to try and cut back? He's going to try on. No, he's not going to go on the inside. It's too risky. But the Jackster did that earlier on. He went on the inside, pushed Overkills off, and that's how he got in front. That is what Overkills needs to do. He needs to go, you know what? I'm going for this. Because let's face it, at this moment in time, he's losing 7 points over to the Jackster. If he goes for it and it ends, he doesn't lose anything. But he needs to go for this now. If he wants to extend his championship lead, this is where it's at. Through into 2 once again. He's a good exit. He's got an alright exit this time around, seemingly. He's right there within half a second. But now he needs to focus on getting a good exit through the hairpin now. Cuts back in, gets an alright run, a little bit of oversteer on the exit, and it's now 5 tenths. But again, the gap is out a little bit more. Bromson's there with him as well. And Does has now dropped back a little bit off that, so there is now a scrap between those top 3. Joshua is close between Chris. Let's go with these two. As Chris is really wide, Joshua might look for a move. He's gone deep, so I don't think it's a chance. He's on the softs, remember? He's on younger softs, but they'll be wearing a quicker. Let's go back to our top two once again. Through the last chicane we go. He's a good run. A little bit of oversteer. You see, not a great exit, and he's lost half a tenth there. And now he'll be in the slipstream and the DRS, but it's now closed up. But again, he's too far back. He's using a lot of that ERS to close up, and he's really close this time round. He's not there enough. He's not close enough, and Jax is a little bit wide out of the second corner. And now Overkills need to really go for it. He's got a good exit. The two ninjas out of it. Is that going to be Sinticar? Is it going to be a Sinticar deployment? It probably won't be. But now Overkills is really close now. He's all over the back of Jackson. He's gone very wide. He's gone too wide. He loses the rear end. And he's had to back way out of it. But that was a good opportunity. See, that was then. He was so close to him that if he stayed close to him for Techno 1 to 2, he had a good opportunity to go on the inside. Does he go for it on the inside? No, he does not. But if he stayed within sort of 2/10 of him out of the exit, great. He had it all going for him. He had it all going. But again, it's all extended once again. It's gone, and it's two again now. Going back to Ninja going out. It's 2 guys out, 8 people running now. Chris is pitted for some more tyres. Obviously, it's unfortunate for him. Now Brumson now gets a 3-second time penalty. That would mean that Dazzler is in a good position for 3rd place on those softs. Ninja now has left session, so arguably you could argue that's what he needed to do. But the gap now 6/10, and now Brumson's looking very close to Overkills, and this is not what Overkills needs. He doesn't need this. He doesn't need Brumson on him, and he doesn't need Brumson overtaking him. He needs to stay where he is, because he doesn't want the gap to come down to 7 points. And you know what? The gap's really out now. And Brumson's really close this lap around, but he's not close enough because Overkills got DRS on Jackster. Gap closes up. Now with 3 more laps to go, it's absolutely tantalising, absolutely super tense between top 3. And of course, Brumson will be looking to get a move on because he wants to pull away from Dazzler to keep his 3rd place. Now through here, the S once again, the gap has closed up, so that almost stripping the gap out again has helped Overkills close up. You know what? He's close through Degner 2 here. You know what? Good run here. He's alright. He's within 2/10 once again, but he's too far back. He brakes really late, but going to try and cut back, focus on the exit, slingshot off it. He's got an alright slingshot, but it's over 3/10 now. It's not an opportunity for Spoon, and he's losing time now. Down to 4 now, over nearly up to half a second back. Through Spoon we go. He needs to concentrate on a good exit through second spot of Spoon now. This is a business end of the race. The last few laps is now 6/10 the gap. And the gap's closed up, and you know what, you got to argue, Jackson's got this all under control. And Brumson's close again to Overkills out of Spoon, and you know what, he's really wide out of 130R, and Brumson's close once again, but not able to make a move on the McLaren driver, and the McLaren driver looking very vulnerable to the Mercedes, and now the Mercedes gets a little bit of a tank up out of the exit, but he's okay. Overkills once again in the DRS, closing up through turn 1 again. This is maybe what he needs to do, just be further back and then attacking for it at the end. Now through the SS once again, trying to concentrate on getting a good exit. This is what he needs to do. Make Jackster crack. He needs to put him under so much pressure to the point where he does crack if he's going to win this race. Track position has seemingly been very important here in Japan. And it's paid dividends for the Jackster. Goes through Degner 1 now. Now Degner 2 needs a good exit. Closes up through Degner 2. Goes a lot more deeper. And he's close this time around. He's closing up in the slipstream. But again, too far back. We'll break a little bit later. Try and cut back into him to get the better exit. You know what? It's not a bad run here for the McLaren driver. You know what? He's really close. And he's in the slipstream. But he's just too far back. He isn't going to make it stick into the Spoon curve. But this is now the opportunity now. If he wants to make it stick, it's our second part. He's gone wide again. It's too deep for the second part. But you know what? He's got the run still. This is it. He's in the slipstream. He's really close now. He's going through 130R. He's closing all the time in the slipstream. It's got to be do or die. Does he go do a Ricardo into it? No, he does not go for a Ricardo. But he's all over the back of that Sauber. And you know what? He's under pressure here. And it's big time moments now in the DRS once again. He's slipstreaming him all the way. It is closer than he's ever been. It is his best opportunity. Jackson goes to the right hand side. Overkill's goes around the outside. He goes for it around the outside. They go wheel to wheel with each other. Overkill's on the outside, going to try and get the better exit. And you know what? It's a great move by the Overkills. He's into the lead of the race once again. And a great move into the winning position he needs to be. What a superb move in front of the Jackster. And that could be the championship winning the move of the season. Great stuff by Overkills. Now he's wide out of the exit. He's probably got a little bit overconfident with that. Now 3 Dignan 1, Dignan 2. He now needs to spread his wings now, push as hard as he can, get away from the Sauber driver now. Remember, he's used a little bit of that ERS, but it's pretty equal actually. Jackster now very deep out of the hairpin. And now he's vulnerable to Brumpson. Brumpson looking really good here. Look how tight it all is again. It's just got to be one more lap for Overkills. He needs to focus on getting a good exit through that chicane now. You know what? Not a great exit through Spoon 2 for the second part of Spoon, but we're climbing up the hill once again. Gap now 0.5 of a second. We're going through, heading up to 130R once again for the penultimate time in this race. Through 130R now, heading in to the last chicane now. Look at that, look at Brumpson. They made contact, and it's now Jackson into the wall. His luck has been rotten. He's out of this race. Brumpson crashes out with the Jackster, and that is it. Surely big things here for the championship race. The Jackster now, it will be on the podium, I think, in the end. But the Brumpson has made contact. The closing speed was so quick down there, and a massive error there by the Mercedes driver hits the Sauber driver off. And it means the Jackson now loses further ground in the championship. And that means Overkills can breathe now. He can slow it all down. Just be patient. He's got the advantage on tyres to Dazzler now. And that is it. Dramatic scenes here in Japan. Because it means now 10 points is gained by Overkills in the championship. Which means he'll be 27 points in front. And that is big news now in the championship race. Because just a massive mistake by Brumpson there. That's a surprise to see. He was really close, had a good opportunity into the last chicane. Arguably probably too far back really. But Overkills now can just cruise it to the flag now. Bring it home, no corner cutting, nothing wrong with that. Just put it down, lower the ERS mode, and bring it home. It's been a great display, great racing, a great battle with Jackson throughout the whole race. Jackson got in front of him initially on lap 15, and then Overkills got past him on lap 26, and that's what he needed to do. And that's what he has done now. Through 130R now for the final time. Now through the final chicane, he breaks down now, down into third gear, turns it in nicely, and it's a second win second win in a row now for Overkills. He comes to the line to extend his championship lead further to 27 points. He wins in Japan ahead of Aaron Dazzler in second place. The Jackster will be a very disappointed third place, and he'll be surely upset with Brumpson after that. Brumpson comes across the line for fourth place. LK in fifth. Great result for him. Williams, 10 points. Now, actually, he'll be sixth now on penalties. As now Jossu gets it on fourth on penalties. F1 Maestro now out the final corner. He'll be disappointed. He'll be home in seventh place. Bad race for him. He obviously very slow. Obviously, spun it earlier. Chris Jones now in 8th place in the end. I think it might be 7th. Actually, no, it won't be. It'll be 8th on penalties anyway. But that has been Japanese Grand Prix. And if Burnout's there, he can take us through the final classification. Ben?
I'm sorry, Oh, no. Yeah, been listening. Fine.
No, you haven't. You want to take us through the final order?
I will. Don't worry about it. I apologise. As we wait. Right then. So, Overkills M wins the Japanese Grand Prix with Aaron Dazzler in second, Jackson in third, Jossu in fourth in the Red Bull, Brumpson in fifth, LK91 in sixth, F1 Maestro in seventh, Chris Jones in eighth, GSY Ginger Ninja in ninth, and BOR Hamilton in 10th. That is all we had today, folks.
Well, that was a cracking race, actually.
Yeah,
Get the
well.
top 3 in, and we'll do the podium interview. My voice is kind of messed up now. That's good. Drama in the last lap there was thrilling to watch, and it means that the Dragster loses further ground to Overkills in the championship. Now going to be 27 points if we head into the last 2 races, and it's looking very good for Overkills at this point. Let's get in the top 3. Ben, do you want to do interviews?
I can guess what happened in the race.
No, you can't, mate. You're not doing it.
So I'll make up for it next couple of races.
Good job I'm not here next week, then you can actually use your voice.
Exactly. Preparing for next week.
Preparing your vocals, yeah. GG, mate. Good stuff. Trying to get the other 2 in. I think the Jackson will be very disappointed with that because he had a collision with Bromson at the end. I wonder if Daz has got a mic. Is he in? We'll wait a few minutes. We'll wait a minute and see if Dazza joins. If not, we'll just go on with you 2. Oh, Dazza's here. Fantastic. Awesome. Right, make sure you include your audio voice. We'll go through the podium interviews. First of all, 2 overkills. 2nd win in a row after Italy. Extending the championship lead now over the Jackster. Talk to me about your race. What a great battle between yourself and the Jackster throughout the whole race. Lost it, I think, at lap 15 to the Jackster. He made a good move round into turn 2, but you managed to get it back on that 306. Well, a great battle between you 2.
Yeah, just disappointed that it finished the way it did. Always going right down to the wire. Always makes it a lot more fun. But you've always got to take the positives. And look, I got the win, so that's what I'm pleased about.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, I mean, it was looking to be a very tense finish. It sort of ended a little bit anticlimactic, and obviously we'll go through that collision at the end there, which was very disappointing to see because that should never happen in racing. And like you're in prime position for a good battle going into the last lap as well. But obviously, championship now 27 points. I think it's 27 points. The championship wasn't actually the standings weren't actually updated after Monza, but I predicted it was about 17 points going into this race. Last 2 races going into the last 2 races, we've got America next and Brazil, I believe. What are you looking for there? Obviously, trying to do what you've been doing in the last 2 races, or are you looking to make it?
Yeah.
Or are you playing the long game here?
Just hoping I can pick up some good results. Really, I'm not really too fussed about how I do it, but it's just the result that matters half the time. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on, and hopefully the championship comes back to me.
Yeah, awesome job, mate. Yeah. And what happened between yourself and BOR Hamilton? Because I think he went into. I think you 2 were side by side. He went around the outside of the last chicane, and then I think you tried. Were you trying to come into the pit lane, or what happened there?
Yeah. So lap 8, chicane, just before the lap before that incident. I saw him going into the pit, so I was like, all right then, I'll pit next lap. But then he stopped and carried on. So then I was basically desperate to pit because I was like 65-70%. So then I defended the chicane so I could stay the lead car, so it'd be my pit stop. But then obviously tyres didn't help. Got some oversteer mid corner. He got the outside line, and then he pitted while I was trying to get there. So then I just had to carry on the tyres, basically limping back home to the pits. But unfortunately he DNF'd as well, because that would have been another car in the fight for the lead, which would have made it even more interesting than it was until the incident between Jackster and Bumsum.
Indeed, yeah, and it would have helped into the Constructors' Championship, but even then, Toros didn't score any points today because Mulder wasn't here, so still you do extend the lead there as well. But great race, mate. Again, continuing on great form, and let's bring it on for the last 2 races of the season.
Yep.
Aaron Dazzler, 2nd place, mate. I think you worked a different strategy actually. You did a different strategy. You started on the soft, I think, and then I don't know. Did you start on the soft or the medium? I don't remember. But
Medium.
anyway, you started on the medium, yeah. Okay. Did a different strategy and it worked out pretty well, didn't it? In the end, talk to me about your race. How'd it go?
I mean, I didn't mean to start on the mediums, but I did a 27.5 on them. That was about the fourth lap on them. So the whole point of starting on mediums is normally your tyres are in better condition, but I started the race with about 20% tyres. So I was,
Ouch.
till about lap 5, my tyres were actually worse than the soft runners, but then started picking up the pace. But then, yeah, I think the safety car came out lap 9, and yeah, I'll see going on the softs from then. I thought, well, I'll just drive and see how long till I blow up. But yeah, it worked out because from the safety car came out, so I missed the first time to go in because of where it came out on track. So, because originally when I saw it, I thought I could go into softs and then go back to mediums, even if that means I'll be at the back of the pack, I'll still be with the train. But yeah, I got away with it and somehow got P2, luckily, because something happened between Wemson and Jackster, which was unlucky for them.
Yeah, mate, I was going to ask you about the softs. That seemed to be a very long stint and on those soft tyres, and I even questioned you even making it, but you did a solid job to maintain it and just stick. But I think you just stuck there in what was it, fourth place? You stuck there throughout the whole race, kept the gap, and just kept going because the top three were going for it. They were really close together, and you were right there as well. So, what a great management, and obviously that's podium. I mean, how much does it mean to you in terms of going into the last few races of the season?
Yeah,
A
so
bit of confidence.
my softs at the end were on 80%. So yeah, I was just trying to, because them three were battling, so it wasn't pretty easy to keep up until about lap 23, and then they properly died. But yeah, I was just trying to keep close in case anything happened, and something did. I got away with P2 somehow.
Well done, mate. Super job, and hopefully you can continue getting these results going into the last two races.
Yeah, cheers.
Now the Jackster. What I have to say is, I feel so sorry for you because what a great battle with you and Overkill throughout the whole race. It was tantalizing to watch. The viewers, I'm sure, enjoyed it, and when you watch it back, it was an insane battle throughout the whole race. Very tense. Then it ended up in tears. Talk to me about your race earlier on, and then talk to me about your collision with Brompton in the end.
I would have to agree with you. It was a really good battle, and I have to give props to Overkills because he races hard, but he also races very fair. So I really enjoyed it. Obviously, starting, I got on the softs, and I'd say till about lap 3, supers were quicker, and then Chris Mac Jones, I think, started dropping back off, and he did very well to defend. And then I made a move down the inside, and to be honest, he just drove me out of track. So that resulted in us both being slowed down. And then I was about 3 seconds adrift of the McLaren boys. So I tried to reel them in. That was mostly just me having the tyre advantage. Really reeled them in. Then the safety car came out. I was alongside with Overkills. And it was neck and neck. And a 10th either way. And I reckon I could have got ahead. But that's the way it went. And Overkills did well, got a good restart, and so then I think the lap prior to I overtook him, I had a little twitch going into turn 1, and I swear the next lap Overkills had an identical twitch, and I just had enough room to slip through, and it was a really good battle. Like I said, he can really drive, so massive props to him. Then he got me back. Went around the outside, which was really good. He made it stick. I didn't think he'd have the grip, but he pulled it off. And then, obviously, we were really close. Looking forward to a nice last lap battle. Obviously, going into the chicane, bumps in just a bit too close. Desync, obviously, you know what this game's like. Spun me round. I was lucky enough not to DNF, to be honest, because I hit the wall with some force. But
Yeah.
in all honesty, these things happen, and he gave me back the place, which is fair play to him. So at the end of the day, I still got a P3, which I can be thankful for. And I should also say that Aaron, massive props to him as well, because he drove insane. When I saw that safety car came out, obviously I knew he was on the mediums. I thought his race was over. And the fact they kept those softs going that long was insane. So, GT to him as well.
Nice, awesome stuff. I mean, obviously, championship-wise, it's now 27 points now. You were obviously leading the race at 1 point, so it meant you were closing up, but it all turned quickly, didn't it? Going into that penultimate lap. So, what do you have to do into the last two races? Is it going to be all out from you? Just concentrate on getting the wins and hoping whatever happens to overkills, or is that all you can do here now going into the last two races?
Yeah, I'll just drive the same I normally do. I'll try and get wins, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be me doing anything if I win the championship. It'll just be bad luck for overkills. So I think at the end of the day now, he deserves it, and all he needs to do is score some solid points. But I think I'm still in the hunt for P2. I don't know the points tally, but I'll still be pleased with that, considering I wasn't here for round one, and I got a DSQ in Germany. So
I'll admit here, like when you got hit by Bromson, I thought, how do you have all this bad luck? The last three races have just been against you. We had, was it a pit lane glitch in Germany, or something like that, and then you had obviously Italy where you crashed, and then here, when Bromson hit you, I was like, oh, don't retire, don't crash out. I was like, don't you dare.
no, I had some.
Luckily,
I still
you didn't.
kept it going.
Yeah, so I was kind of like happy that he didn't, but again, you just need a little bit of the rub of the green. Some ways it kind of, you got a little bit of that rub of the green today where you may have to continue with that incident, but hopefully your luck turns around because you're battling for that win and you probably deserved easy P2 today. So, but that battle for the win should have gone to the line in the end, but it didn't. But again, all you can do is just continue what you're doing, and hopefully your luck changes going into the last few races, and you can claw back some points, and fingers crossed you can be the underdog and potentially bring the fight to overkills going into the last few races.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And also great sportsmanship by you as well, because not many people will go after the race, after that incident, would go, oh, congrats to Dazzler and congrats to the overkills in the battle. Not many people do that, so that's a great thing to have. So great stuff, mate. Awesome. Awesome to see. There's not much of that in the community, so it's awesome. Anyway, Burnout. Are you there? Probably not. He's probably died. Hello? Is he there? No, he's not. You know what? That's fine. Cool. Anyway, I'll round things up. What a great race we had in Japan. We go to the last two races. Next time out, we're at America. I won't be here to commentate over it, but I'll be back for the last race of the season. So I'll be bringing you that stream next week. In 2 weeks' time. Unfortunately, it won't be me next week. But we're in for a thriller going into the last two races of the season. Championship is still on, but it looks very good for overkill as we head through to the last two races. So guys, join us next week for the American Grand Prix, round 10 of the season. So we'll see you then.